Some of the people in the cast wouldn't eat with me, wouldn't shake my hand, and wouldn't be with me in the same room because they were afraid they could give their children or somebody AIDS if they didn't know. If they shook my hand, if the makeup thing, there was just weeks and weeks of being very careful.
Linda Evans finally exposed the love of her life at the age of 82, and it's not who anyone expected.
Why am I dying for him?
After decades of heartbreak, betrayals, and unimaginable struggles, she revealed the one person who truly stood by her through it all.
I said, there has to be an answer. This is not living.
Decades have passed since she was the glamorous Crystal Carrington in Dynasty, the show that ruled the 80s with its luxury, drama, and jaw-dropping catfights. She was an icon, setting fashion trends that women all over the world copied. She had it all, right? A Golden Globe in 1982, an Emmy nomination in 1983, and a face that defined the golden age of television. But behind the perfectly styled hair and stunning gowns, there was something missing.
What were some of the toughest times?
When I was to take blood pressure medicine and I didn't like the way it made me feel, I stopped. And I was outside and blanked out, just blacked out.
Her life has been a wild ride of heartbreak, betrayal, and constant searching. 2 failed marriages, a love affair that ended in one of Hollywood's biggest scandals, and a pattern of trusting the wrong people. People thought they knew her, but Linda has always had secrets behind that perfect smile.
Face down in the gravel, and I just got up and my face was bloody, and I went, oh my God, what just happened to me? And I realized I just needed help.
And just when the world assumed she had closed the book on love, she dropped a bombshell at 82, revealing the true love of her life. And it's not who anyone expected. How does someone go through decades of fame, Hollywood drama, and personal breakdowns, only to find love at the end of it all?
I gotta tell you something.
Tell me.
I was so sick when I got off that plane, which I didn't want to admit to you guys.
Before the scandals, before the heartbreaks, Linda Evans was just a shy little girl who never thought she'd be a star. Born on November 18th, 1942 in Hartford, Connecticut, she grew up in a family full of professional dancers, which should have made her comfortable in the spotlight. But no, Linda was painfully shy, barely making eye contact with people. Imagine that. The woman who would later steal the screen with her elegance and confidence used to avoid people's gazes altogether.
Absolutely.
Everything changed when she went to Hollywood High School. She was encouraged to take drama classes, not because she had dreams of becoming an actress, but to help her get over her shyness. And it worked. Something clicked when she got up on stage, and before she even realized it, she was acting in TV commercials by the time she was 15. That was the start. Her big break came with The Big Valley, 1965 to 1969, but nothing compared to Dynasty, 1981 to 1989. That's when Linda became a global superstar, transforming into the face of elegance and power. Women wanted to be her, fashion designers used her as their inspiration, and Hollywood couldn't get enough. But fame, as always, came with a cost. Behind the diamonds and fur coats, Linda's personal life was falling apart. A lawsuit, a scandal, and betrayals she never saw coming left her questioning everything, even her self-worth and love.
I didn't know what to do. And as I say in the book, I wanted to die. I thought it'd be easier just to get out of life than to deal with what I was looking at that happened.
And speaking of love gone horribly wrong, nothing compares to what happened with John Derek. At 26, Linda thought she had found her forever. John Derek was 16 years older, handsome, confident, and in control. Exactly the type of guy who could sweep a young actress off her feet. And for a while, things seemed perfect. He encouraged her career, supported her, and seemed like the ideal husband. But there was something darker underneath.
I just go, fine, it's okay. See, the hiding is the part that's off. Like we're ashamed of something. Ashamed what, that I survived my back? No, I am a warrior.
John Derek wasn't just charming, he was controlling. Linda was madly in love, willing to do anything to make him happy. And that meant giving up parts of herself. At first it was subtle, small compromises here and there, But over time, he started making decisions for her career, her friendships, even her wardrobe. John had an opinion on everything.
The best thing about it for me is I realized in wanting to die and getting thinner and thinner and just being at home, feeling sorry for myself.
Then came 1973, the year that shattered Linda's world. Out of nowhere, John left her for an 18-year-old girl. But not just any girl, Bo Derek, a blonde bombshell who was 30 years younger than him. And this wasn't some quiet breakup. John didn't just leave, he ran away with Bo. He took her to Germany and Greece, not for some romantic getaway, but to avoid legal trouble. The age gap was so scandalous, they had to flee the country just to be together.
So then the heartbreak that you reveal in the book is that he takes a peek over at a 15-year-old by the name, now we all know it.
Linda was devastated. Imagine thinking you've built a life with someone, only to wake up one day and realize they've replaced you with someone younger, someone fresher, someone they think is better. And the worst part? The whole world was watching. The media had a field day, turning her heartbreak into a spectacle.
That was the hardest part, was just my life had to be completely adjusted. I didn't know what to do. And as I say in the book, I wanted to die. I thought it'd be easier just to get out of life than to deal with what I was looking at that happened.
And Linda? She blamed herself. She spiraled into self-doubt, constantly comparing herself to Bo. Was she not beautiful enough? Not young enough? The questions haunted her for years. It would have been so easy to stay in that dark place, to let the humiliation consume her. But Linda wasn't going to let John Derek be the end of her story.
This is not my hair. This is a wig. This is a wig. Because my hair fell out.
She could have disappeared, but instead, she did the exact opposite. She threw herself back into her career, proving that she wasn't some washed-up, heartbroken actress. And then, a few years later, she landed the role that would define her forever, Crystal Carrington in Dynasty. That's how Linda Evans took her pain and turned it into power.
Why am I dying for him?
Yeah.
I mean, if this is what he's thinking, like, don't make me feel guilty, you know, get a life so I can feel okay about what I've done, why am I going to die for him? I turned my mind to myself, called my agent, got jobs, found another guy, married him, and my life went on, and I thought, oh my God.
Linda Evans thought she had finally found stability when she married Stan Herman in 1975. After everything she had been through with John Derek, she wanted something different, something safe, something quiet, something far away from the chaos of Hollywood. But that's the thing about Hollywood. Even when you try to escape it, it never really lets you go. Stan wasn't in the industry, and that seemed like a good thing at first. But by 1979, it was over. The marriage just couldn't withstand the constant glare of fame, and Linda found herself alone again. Then came Lee Majors, the rugged star of The $6 Million Man. If there was a Hollywood couple built for tabloid covers, it was them. Their relationship was a media sensation, the kind of thing that had paparazzi hiding behind bushes and tabloids screaming about their every move. But despite the buzz, it didn't last. Another brief, high-profile romance that fizzled out as quickly as it started. But then came Yanni, and this was different. The Greek musician, known for his soul-stirring compositions, brought something into Linda's life that she had never quite felt before. Passion, depth, a connection beyond Hollywood.
With Yanni, everybody knows as the New Age musician,
Right.
famous for his concerts on the Acropolis. There, the two of you are together.
Their decade-long romance from 1989 to 1998 was filled with music, travel, and an artistic bond that felt unbreakable. For 10 years, they were inseparable. But there was always one thing missing: marriage.
Love doesn't care about any of those details. If you've ever been in love, and I must say these two are the great loves of my life, wouldn't have missed it for the world. Doesn't have to be forever.
Linda had learned the hard way that marriage wasn't the fairy tale she once believed in. And while she loved Yanni, she wasn't willing to sacrifice her independence again. She had done that before, and it nearly destroyed her. So when it became clear that they wanted different things, she made a choice. She walked away. Another heartbreaking split. Another chapter closed. And that's when the world started noticing something. Linda Evans wasn't looking for love anymore. No more weddings, no more serious relationships, no children, no husband. The industry whispered that she had given up on love altogether. But that wasn't the whole story, because Linda Evans' biggest battle wasn't with love, it was with herself.
But it doesn't matter what they say. Would you miss that relationship? Would you miss that magical thing that you have with each other because it ends?
Right.
I mean, to me, love is worth being in love, whatever that means for his.
In 2014, at 72, Linda Evans faced a crisis far worse than any breakup, any betrayal, or any career setback. This time, it wasn't about Hollywood, it was about survival. Chronic pain had taken over her life, the kind of pain that makes everyday tasks unbearable. She turned to painkillers, the only thing that could make it stop. But the thing about painkillers, they don't just numb the pain, they numb everything. Then came the arrest. Linda was found with 30 prescription painkillers in her purse and charged with unsafe driving. The headlines were brutal. A former beauty icon, now struggling with addiction, arrested at 72. It was the lowest moment of her life. But that wasn't even the worst part.
When you're in love, age doesn't matter.
Was it a great marriage?
It was a fabulous marriage. It was a fabulous marriage in that I can honestly say it's one of those things where you wake up every day and you look at the person and you say, my God, I love him so much. How can this be possible?
Her health was failing. Cortisone treatments had caused her to lose her hair. Imagine that. A woman who had been admired for her beauty for decades, suddenly unable to recognize herself in the mirror. She wasn't just in physical pain. She was in emotional freefall. And then the depression hit. The kind of depression that makes you question whether life is even worth living. Linda has never publicly shared just how dark things got, but she's admitted that there were moments when she felt completely lost. But then, something shifted. This wasn't how her story was going to end. Not like this. And that's when she finally said it. At 82 years old, Linda Evans revealed the truth. The love of my life is me. It was a moment no one saw coming. After failed marriages, Hollywood scandals, heartbreaks, and betrayals, she finally found the one love that would never leave her. The love she had overlooked all along. Now, Linda Evans lives in Washington State, far away from the industry that once defined her. She doesn't need the spotlight anymore. She spends her days focusing on health, mindfulness, and self-care. She returned to film briefly in 2021 with Swan Song, not because she needed validation, but because she wanted to. And if this is something that inspired you, don't forget to hit the subscribe below. We got a lot more in the bucket.